just a little house cleaning. We just want to thank Liberty Graphic Designs for sending us some stuff. Sponsors for tonight for Savage Council.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Juan with Liberty Graphic Design.
So we're going to open up the box and see what we have here.
All right, let's get to it.
All right. Oh, shoot.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. What's the first rule in the Boy Scouts? Never like... I don't know. I was never in the Boy Scouts.
I'm never in the Boy Scouts either.
Me neither. So we're just going to do this. It might not be as clean, but...
Yeah.
All right, you get that side, J-Dog.
Okay.
And then let's see what is underneath here. And it's always handy to have a nice knife with you. Handy dandy blade.
Yeah. All right.
All right, here, I'll shut that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, get to it. Open up the box. This is from Liberty Graphic
Liberty
Designs
Graphics.
Out of Texas. If you guys are interested in watching how merchandise is done or apparel, embroidery. What is that? Looks like a jacket. So he sent us a jacket. Right on. Nice. Why don't you hold it up for everyone? Clean. And if you guys want to see how he did this with the embroidery, he has a show on his YouTube channel, and it's Liberty Graphic Designs. And thanks a lot, Juan. Thanks a lot. That looks like yours, babe, because that one's smaller. These are what I'm excited about. What are these?
Oh, the Savage Council hats.
Oh, whoosh, snap. Look at that. Great job, Juan. When I was watching it on the video, I thought you were going to burn my hat, but this looks clean. How does that look, bro?
Savage.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, this is a Savage Council, so anything less than we'd have to send back, but I think we're going to keep this here. And J-Dog, this one is for you,
Thank you,
my friend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And then we have another jacket. Thank you so much, Juan. Again, if you guys are interested in merchandise or embroidery, silk screen, I would definitely hit up our sponsor for tonight, Liberty Graphic Designs. Thank you, Juan. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So let's get to the show. We don't know what we're doing tonight. By popular demand, we're going to have a pop topic. My girlfriend Angelica is going to give us the subject as we speak. Okay. So this is truly off the cuff, unscripted. Going live, going savage.
All the way.
And I can't wait to see what she has, but at the same time, is something I hope it's something that we could riff on, bro.
Oh yeah, definitely. She's pretty creative.
Yeah,
you know,
and that's what scares me. So
yeah.
So let's get into it, and just gonna put this box away, and we'll be back to you guys in a minute.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jeremiah Dog here at the Savage Council with Kenny Savage. Kenny Savage, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Just another night at Savage Council. I didn't do my Ron Burgundy lip warm-ups.
Yeah, you warm up. Savage Council.
Savage Council. That's my Sean Connery impression.
Oh, my
here
goodness.
Here at Savage Council HQ, we doing good, man.
Yes, sir.
Doing good.
Yes, sir.
So tonight we kind of got thrown for a loop.
Yeah.
But we did want to thank Juan from Liberty Graphic Designs for sending us out the Savage Council merchandise. And again, if you are interested in having merchandise done, or you're interested in the process and seeing how he does it, tune in to his YouTube channel, Liberty Graphic Designs. Really cool guy. Thank you, Juan.
Thank you. Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah. So tonight we don't even know what we're talking about. We're always bragging about how we go on Raw and Uncut, or what is it, Live and Savage?
Yeah. Live and Savage.
So tonight we didn't know what we were going to talk about, so we asked my girlfriend. to
Okay.
pick a topic.
Definitely.
And she hasn't told us because we were bragging about how we go live and unscripted, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So- She seems to think that she's going to throw us for a loop. She just don't know how savage we really are.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so gels. What is the topic going to be? The pop topic of the night is going to be,
Drum roll.
drum roll.
At what age is it time to grow up?
Oh.
At what age is it time to grow up? Shit, that's a good question. I don't even know if I'm grown.
I mean, I'd say the same thing. Me
Can
neither.
you elaborate on that specifically? Because that's pretty vague.
Yeah.
At what age is it time to be like, all right, I need to stop partying. I got to start making some priorities, get my stuff together.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one.
Well, I'll start it off like this. I mean, me personally, I think that the age where I believe it's time for as a man to man up and start getting your priorities straight, I think by 25, 26, mid 20s,
Yeah.
that's the time for you to say, okay, you're not getting any younger. One. Two, you have to realize that the older you are, the more you're going to realize that you're going to need these certain things for your life as you get older.
Yeah,
So I feel like, I know people definitely, start their life whenever they feel like it. But me personally, I think mid-20s would be the best age area to start getting yourself together. Start putting your pants on the right way.
Yeah, put your big boy pants on, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
You know what? I almost have to agree with you, just because I didn't really get my stuff together until my late 20s.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and agree with you, just because I was like a late bloomer as far as everything just came so slow for me. And then so like when I started enjoying life, I seemed like I missed out on a lot. Does that make sense? So I was trying to cram it in like to the little few times, but then I would have to add that the party became over like when you have kids.
Yeah.
I mean, for real.
Right.
For real. Like,
For real.
you have to set aside your priorities. Now, as far as chronological stages in life, like, like your parents would tell you, like, okay, you're 18, you graduated, it's time for you to grow up. Do we really grow up? No, I don't think so. And then you could be in your 30s and you can have the age behind you, but that doesn't mean your maturity level is at that point. So that's a tough question, but my answer would have to be definitely, all games aside, game over when you have kids. You need to dedicate yourself to your kids. Every resource that you have, like what are you going to do? Spend the milk money at the bar?
Right. Yeah, you're right, because your responsibility levels go up a lot higher than where they were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know, there's some people who have responsibilities at a younger age. Like in the mid 20s, you would think, okay, someone's going to have a kid, start putting a down payment on cars, start, paying off, the house, etc., stuff like that. But there's people who are younger who actually fall into those categories like at 18.
Yeah, isn't that phenomenal?
Yeah.
And props to those guys.
Yeah, shout
I
out
just
to
wasn't
them.
able to, again, like it took me a quick minute to get everything out of my system. But yeah, I know it's amazing, and it's especially amazing nowadays when you see kids that are 18, 19, even kids that are 22 that have been saving their whole life, and then they bought their first house, and you're just like, how'd you do that?
Right.
Yet they had their priorities set.
Yeah, definitely have their priorities set. And on top of that, a lot of people don't really get ready for that lifestyle because they expect it to just naturally come. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you have to prepare yourself. So when you're, 18, 17, 18, and you go into your mid 20s, you're like, okay, I've been working, or I've been doing this since 18. So by the time I'm in my mid 20s, I would at least have a stability of what I want to do, or stability of what I am doing. You know what I mean? Income wise and financial gain.
Yeah, now is that a characteristic though? Is that I'm wondering if that's a personality, because you could look at like somebody who's really OCD and have their life on track, and if you go off the rail a little bit, like you're so your compulsion to be driven in one direction is going to put you back on that track. Like, you know, say somebody who wants to save up to buy a house by the time they're 25, you know, so I wonder if it's a personality where it's like, you know, kind of like a free spirited person, kind of happy go lucky, go with the flow. You know, they're going to go along, not really mapping out their life, not really doing things that are pushing them in a certain direction, but just like, oh, everything will fall into place.
Right.
You know, so I wonder if personality plays into it. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Like, respond below if you have, you know, any comments. But yeah, I just wonder that, because, you know, me personally, I'm the happy-go-lucky kind of guy.
Okay.
You know, never really planned for anything as far as, yeah, when the responsibility hit, I knew I had to man up. But other than that, like, really no direction. Just kind of follow my own muse, you know, like, you know, march to the beat of my own drum, which was, you know, probably detrimental to me. But I didn't have parents that really pushed me in that one direction. Like, you know, because my parents, you know, they were young in the 60s and whatnot. And by the time I came along, 70s, 80s, they still were pretty liberal about certain things. So I don't know. Your take, man?
Well, you know, nowadays, you know, we're living in a time where you got kids who, well, I mean, matter of fact, you're living in a time where you have kids who are 17, 18 millionaires.
Yeah.
Already. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a huge surprise, because you're like, what? I'm over here busting my chops trying to get my Fair's Day pay for a fair day's work.
For sure.
And you're over here sleeping on $1 million? What? At 18? With no responsibility? Man.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think it's a good, I think it's a good influence too for people that want to, you know, dream like that.
Yeah,
Because if you want to dream like that, what better than to actually see somebody who's doing it and legit doing it? Like, I used to kind of poo-poo it, thinking like, nah, that's just a front. They're just fronting, whatever. But then I met a couple, and it's for real.
Yeah.
It's a real deal.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? There's times where me, you know, I don't really envy anybody or get jealous of anybody for their success. I'm all for it, you know what I mean? But that gives me a motivation.
Definitely.
It's like seeing somebody out there driving a, you know, for example, a Lamborghini or a Maserati. I'm like, geez, that kid's out there, or that man's out there driving the car of his dreams. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we're in Visalia. What would you say the most expensive car you've seen out here?
The most expensive car I've seen out here, I would have to say, I seen a Lamborghini one time.
Okay.
But a more common one that you really would run into that's pricey would have to be the Mercedes-Benz S-Class.
Okay. S-Class, very
yeah,
good
the
car.
S-Classes, they're very, very good cars. But they run a lot of money. So they're not just, you know, some car you can get off the lot.
Right.
That's, you know, for cheap. They run big bucks. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't motivate you, I don't know what will.
Exactly.
But so here's the thing. So these kids, they succeed. They seem like they're all grown up. Financially, they're stable and grown up.
Yeah.
What about mentally, though? Because I mean, you can have the right stuff to make money, but like, where's your? I feel on the one hand, like, yeah, because they're making money, it's like they have a level of maturity. But then again, like, what did they sacrifice to get there? So what are they going to be? So you have like two people, like, are they going to be late bloomers? You know, you got you see it on TV all the time. Where,
right.
You know, you got the townies that, like, I played high school football. I've been coming to the same bar.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here at, you know, whatever bar downtown, and this has been my home, and they're 33 and, you know, going bald and getting a beer belly.
Yeah.
But, you know, and then somebody who's like doing well at a very young age, like, are they gonna, like, what's going to happen to them, like, after the success? Because I feel like certain experiences you need to get out of your system.
Right.
And kind of being silly and goofy and kind of doing the things downtown and stuff is kind of like a prerequisite for at least you know what you don't want to do. You have enough bad experiences.
Yeah.
Then you're just like, oh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But like, what is somebody who doesn't experience that? What does that look like to them? Maybe they don't ever want to. 'Cause,
Right.
you know, there's that saying, you can't miss what you haven't had before.
Mm-hmm.
But like, does it manifest later? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, whoa. I know that's great. Oh, that's great. You know what I mean? Because nowadays also you have a bunch of people who, you know, believe it or not, you got a bunch of people who are mid-20s to 30s, and sometimes in rare occasions mid-30s, who are still living in mom's house.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I get that.
And I'm not taking a dump on them.
Right.
But if we're talking about becoming better and becoming at a time where it's time for you to get out,
Yeah.
like it's time for you to grow up, you gotta to remove yourself out of those environments, because I mean there's no growth in comfort zones. There's no sense of growth in comfort zones. You may learn a little bit, you may do this, do that, but sometimes you have to step out of that comfort zone to achieve that growth, that maturity growth, that mental growth, emotional and spiritual growth as well. You know what I mean?
Definitely. That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, you know, just like a diamond isn't made by comfort, you have to squeeze the hell out of it. You know,
Right.
Any precious metal, you know, has to go through the furnace. Like, it has to be molded and crafted into that precious metal. But yeah, definitely, if you're at that age and you are like, you might want to like take into consideration like what are your moves. But now I know I realize though, like a lot of people nowadays, they do it to save money.
Yeah.
They're students,
Yeah.
or they're just saving money or whatever. But you know, if that's you and you're just like a townie, and then you're just like doing, like we said, drinking downtown all the time, this and that, like I would say it's time to grow up.
Yeah. That's
Like
when
if
it's-
you were my friend, I would be like, it's time to do something.
Yeah.
Like a big brother would tell you, like, hey, you're fucking up.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you need to get your stuff together. Like, you know, because it only gets harder. Like what do you want to do? Like, you know, so you're in your mid-20s now, you meet the love of your life, you have a family,
Right.
but you have no resources, meaning you didn't go to school, you didn't learn a craft, you didn't learn a trade. Now you got somebody else, you know, your spouse that you have to take care of, then you have your kids, then okay, well, it's time to get my big boy pants on.
Yeah.
I'm going to enroll at school.
Yeah.
You know how hard that is? I do.
Yeah, and you know what? When I went to college back in Virginia about 2 years ago, I was taking a few classes, and one of my classes, there was a guy in there who, I forget his name at the top, but there was a guy in there who I met.
Professor.
Well, I thought he was at first.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
yeah. So when we spoke, you know, we were talking and everything. Then he started asking me, "Oh, do you have kids? Are you married?" I'm thinking like, dude, I'm 19. What the hell?
Right. Why
You know
you
what I mean?
creeping on me, bro?
Yeah,
Like, I'm
yeah.
not into dudes.
Yeah,
Like, sorry.
I don't play for both teams. So then I realized after me and him for talking, I said, "Hey, how old are you?" He's like, "Oh man, I'm 52." I'm like, "Okay, you know." And I was like, "Well, are you here to get your master's or what?" You know, he's like, "No, I'm here to start school for the first time."
Yeah.
And it blew me away because I was like, "Whoa," you know what I mean? But what he said to me that day kind of got me thinking about other people as well. This guy had told me that his mother was always babying him, always putting her under her teat, and just keeping her under his wing.
Yeah.
You know, under her wing, excuse me.
Yeah.
So that makes me think, like, what about those that are out there who are being hugged up by mother to where they can't have the opportunity to go out there and explore, or they're so sheltered, that's the word I'm looking
Sheltered.
for, to go out there and explore, or go out there and see what, you know, they can experience for themselves. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Start living.
Yeah, start living.
Have the experiences. Have the baseline of what you will, because here's the way I feel, man. Like, you go through enough experiences, you have a set guide stone or a compass to like keep you in one direction, out of the other direction, and because you know one way or another the direction that you're going is going to be better path for you. And maybe that's where the spirituality comes in. Not saying you have to be spiritual
Yeah.
to be woke,
Yeah.
but a moral sense of consciousness. If you're aware, like, hey, you know, like everybody's doing that, but that's not me. Like, I'm gonna go that path. But I get it. Like, kids that are sheltered don't get to experience that. And what do? They drive thousands of miles to go to some other school in some other location, and they just lose it.
Yeah.
Lose it. Go buck wild.
Yeah.
Off the rails, thinking that nobody's gonna find out. But the problem with that I see is that's emotionally scarring. Meaning, like, you know, if you get yourself in enough bad situations, like, I feel like if you don't have a good support unit near you, then those kind of things, like some of that stuff, you can't just walk away from. Like, and I'm just talking about, you know, I guess, like going to university, getting, you know, blackout drunk every weekend, not knowing what happened, having to wonder what happened, this and that. And then you're like, you come back home and, you know, and do you feel the same? I mean, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Never went to university. I went to community college. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think circling back to, you know, the guy that I wonder, did he happen to say like what he was doing in between the years of 20 and 52?
Well, he did mention when we had the conversation after class, he did mention that he was working. He did mention that he had a little part-time little gig, you know, little fast food joint somewhere in Virginia Beach.
Part-time?
Yeah, part-time.
Come on.
Yeah. Part-time little fast food joint. He said, but most of the time he spent his years playing video games. Spent his years. His mother was. I think his mother was a it was either a surgeon or some type. I think he was a surgeon.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, something. But she was a surgeon. So when that happened, I guess, like, you know, his father was never around. It was just his mother. His mother, and I think he had a few siblings.
Yeah.
But over time, mom was always paying the rent. Mom was keeping the lights on, putting the food on the table, putting clothes on his back. So I feel like, you know, when he was telling me this, I feel like he depended on her, as we should.
Yeah.
But he depended on her for a period of when that should have been his time to experience life. That should be his time to go out and go get his instead of getting his mother's.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because she worked hard to provide for him. He should have been working hard to provide for himself.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm not a father. I don't have kids. But when that day comes for me to have kids, I'm eventually going to explain to him where, look, this is my plate. I'm going to give you off my plate. But when you become a certain age, it's time for you to fill your own plate. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what should have happened with him and his situation. I mean, I don't know the backstory, but from what he was presenting to me, I feel like that's exactly what needs to be monitored in some families, you know.
Well, it kind of sounds like it, and I don't know the guy. He's not here to defend himself, but it kind of sounds like
Cue
to
the
me
pop
it was
of him
like,
coming up. Cue the pop up.
Yeah, but it sounds like to me like maybe he enrolled himself in school to like just to not do anything serious, just to get somebody off his back, and or to feel like like I'm doing something worthwhile.
Right. Well, you know, and I hear what you're saying. Let's kind of like put ourselves in those shoes right now. Let's say we're 52. Living with mom since day one, you know, working part-time McDonald's, no type of degree or any type of certificate or technical degree, nothing under your shoulder. I mean, under your belt. What do you do? The clock is always going to be ticking, so your age is never going to reverse. You're never going to have a time to go backward and go hang out with whoever. So what do you do? Do you go forward from there, or do you stay in neutral for the rest of your life?
Ooh. Me personally, I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do it. I've been independent, you know, since the age of 13. My first job was 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You know, inner city work program for the poverty stricken, whatever that level is, that, you know, we got jobs through the city, city job programs. And I remember I messed up. First, I worked at the police station washing cars, and didn't realize how easy I had it. And so I didn't wash the cars very good. So then they sent me next door to the fire station, and they already had a person over there. And so it turns out they didn't need two. So they sent me to city yards.
Oh, wow.
And that was come come to think of it now, like maybe that was a violation of child labor laws because they had.
How old were you at the time?
13. 13. Yeah, they had special program. Yeah. They
Make
had
money at 13.
Yeah. And here's the kicker. So when I was at 13 years old, so that would be 1985. Worked for the city. Minimum wage was $3.25. Okay, we were making $4.50, but that was the biggest $4.50. Like, I mean, like, you know, I basically had to do it because my mom couldn't afford school clothes. So if I wanted to go to school looking somewhat decent, like that, you know, and that was the whole point of the program. Everyone had to sign off on it and everything, you know, so, you know, they didn't commit any actual violations. But we were making $4.50, and they put me on the city road crew where we did weed abatement and we filled potholes.
Oh.
Okay, so the potholes, not that terrible. You just got to shovel asphalt and stuff and follow a truck and stuff, and then they lay down hot tar. That's not an issue, but at 13 years old, you got soft hands, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and you're pitching around a heavy shovel with asphalt on it, and you get blisters. And this was in a high desert, so it was like 100 degrees above every single day.
Damn.
We're in the desert, bro.
Yeah.
That job was easy. You know, the weed abatement was the hard part because this was out by El Mirage dry lake beds.
Okay.
So what we would have to do is we would have to clear a 6-foot fire break clearance from the road to the banks. And that was all tumbleweeds. And it was literally like 10 guys, you know, popping weeds. And these suckers, man, they're tumbleweeds, bro. They burrow in like deep. And then a guy with a pitchfork throwing the stuff into the trailer. They would set up the water jug like half a mile down the road. And that's when you got your break. Boy, I long to go back washing cars. So then the next year, we were all excited because we made good money. So we're all excited about coming back. Well, the next year they increased minimum wage from $3.35 to $4.25, and we were making $4.50 the previous year. Well, this year we made $4.25.
Wow.
So yeah, but yeah, no, as far as, you know, trying to claim independence and stuff, and you know, like, we had the Mother's Day special and stuff, like the last episode. If you haven't seen it, check it out. You know, what our moms mean to us. That was, a work ethic that my mom instilled into me.
Wow.
You know, so I feel very fortunate. And circling back to what you were saying about the plate analogy, about how you're going to teach your kids, I think they need to learn that from day one.
Definitely.
Like, you know, because they need to start, like, I do have 4 kids. And, you know, I did treat them at a certain age where they understood. I talked to them like they should understand. You know, you're a baby, yeah, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, you're a kid, you're a little bit more gentler. But when they should know the appropriate age of, you know, you understand things, that's when I started telling them about real life. And I think that's very important. And I don't know, I guess that's at that point, like, as a parent, you want to instill a certain foundation so your kids understand. But I don't think that's really telling them to grow up, because they blow it off.
Yeah.
They blow it off big time.
Yeah, especially,
'Cause no one wants to hear that.
Yeah, especially being, you know, 15, 16, you know, even 18, when your parents tell you, oh, it's time for you to go ahead and start working, it's time for you to start doing A, B, Z, whatever, X, Y, Z, and you're like, I ain't trying to hear it. Like,
yeah.
Save that for the birds, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
But I think they appreciate it in the long run because it's that repetitiveness, hearing it over and over. It almost kind of is a conditional kind of response. That if you say something enough or you try something enough, I remember you talking about the last episode, like, you know, your mom was very encouraging, and, you know, she would always tell you like, hey, you didn't do it this time, but next time you will. I kind of feel like, you know, if you're doing it in a positive way, that kind of reinforces that one of these days they'll figure it out, and one of these days they will do it.
Yeah.
But it's that belief that they have to have, that they have your support, which motivates them to do well.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and I push my kids.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. I can't complain. They're great kids. I mean, even though they had to grow up quick and fast because we got divorced and we co-parent and this and that. So emotionally, they had to stabilize themselves very quickly. But for everything that's happened and everything, my kids are great, man.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So could you live with your mom in the basement,
Oh,
having a part-time job in your 30s?
Man.
How would you feel? That's the thing. That's the thing that gets me is like, how do you feel like a man?
see, I wouldn't, because I I wouldn't be able to get no, cue the cat emoji. You know what I'm saying? That being one of them. But I wouldn't feel independent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be feeling any type of like, okay, I'm not saying I don't need you, mom, but I'd be like, okay, mom, I'm gonna go sleep over there. I don't need you right now. I'm good.
Yeah.
Or like if my mom offers, let's say my mom offers to pay something, I'm like, no, mom, I got it. Don't worry about it. It's like $100. No, I got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to have that sense of independency, because there's going to be a day where she won't be able to take care of me anymore. You know what I mean? There's going to be a day where, money does run out. Money does get short, and there's days where the lights might come off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and to flip the script, there might be a day where you might have to take care of her.
Exactly.
So
Perfect.
you have to have the resources and the foreknowledge to get your shit together, because you're not just hurting yourself by delaying things.
Yeah.
And like, so what I hear from you, the biggest takeaway is that the more independent and the more resources you could provide for yourself is greater validation to being a man and feeling manly.
Right.
And in return, the cat emojis or whatever is going to come chasing you, because I feel like that's, people want to have people that have their stuff together.
Yeah.
Not necessarily successful,
Right.
but attributes to become successful, because those very early driven people, they will put themselves through whatever needs to be put through to get to where they have to get to.
Yeah, the ambition.
And I think the confidence like exudes from you, I hate the term fake it till you make it, but whatever self-affirmation you need to tell yourself, like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, then do it.
Yeah.
But don't sit there year after year, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, like, faking it and not making it. Like, move towards your goal steadily.
Yeah.
One step at a time, 1 year at a time. Yeah, so what? We're not all going to be millionaires at 25.
No.
But
we all want to be able to have a place and call it ours. You know what I mean? Have a home to where we could just come home and unwind after a long day's work. You know what I mean? Or drive our own nice car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Independency,
validation,
Definitely.
confidence, and it will give your relationship market so much more equity for somebody that you're trying to attract. Because who wants that townie that stays in the basement playing video games at 35?
getting no cat emoji. You know what I'm saying?
No cat emoji.
You know?
Not for me. I couldn't do it.
No, definitely. Yeah.
So that's going to be a wrap.
Yeah, that's going to be it for us today here at the Savage Council. Like I said, we're at the Savage Council. We get savage and raw and uncut. Definitely.
Live and savage, raw and uncut. I love it. And thank you, Gels, for the pop topic. I don't know about you, man, but I like that one.
Yeah, that was great. Again, yeah, thank you. Shout out to Gels. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for giving us this topic. We were both able to riff off of it on a great vibes. And Savage Council, we want to hear from you. We want to hear the feedback. We want comments. We want likes. We want hit that subscribe button so we can sit there and go ahead, Cuddy.
Yeah. So we can sit there and riff on your pop topics.
Riff on your topics.
Yeah.
I almost lost
so should we?
myself.
So should we explain why we're all a little loopy? So we filmed today a lot later than we normally do.
Yeah.
But hey, we guaranteed you guys a video a week. We hope you appreciate it. We definitely appreciate your time, and it takes 5 seconds. So I'm asking you to subscribe to the Savage Council.
Hit the red button.
Be savage, not average. Hit that red button. 5 seconds, and we thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's it, babe.
Mhm.